take the next step, improve as a blocker, field leader for that group?
Yeah, I think the last thing you just said, the leadership role, being the guy really that's got the most experience in the room, in the games, just setting that example every day, working extremely hard. He's always, ever since he's been here, he's done that. He's been a leader by example. He's done a tremendous job in the off-season program of doing that. Challenge him a little bit more to now you have a good feel for what you're doing now, try to bring other people up with you and around you and lead them a little bit more past just example and be a little bit more vocal and encouraging players and coaching players, and he's done all that. And those guys have responded to that. That room has worked extremely hard in the offseason. So that leadership aspect, but then also the fundamental aspect. I challenged him in the weight room this winter in every aspect of the lifts that you're doing to get as strong as you possibly can. He developed a lot as a blocker last year. I think the next step in his development is just now taking the new, the power that he's worked for in terms of the squat rack and the power clean and all the things Coach Storms and his staff do a great job of helping him develop with. Now take that out on the grass and become more of a dominant blocker. And there's guys that can get on blocks and stay on, and then there's guys that can win blocks. And so, I want to see him take that step, and that strength also helps you in winning one-on-one balls, when the ball's up in the air. And, at our position, a lot of times we're not going to outrun a lot of people, so we're going to have to win those contested plays, and that strength level, in your lower body and your core, that helps a lot. Those are the things that we want to see him take another step in his game.
Who do you feel like is the best blocker in the room, and who's also maybe improving the most through these strength conditioning programs?
The best blocker, Kyle's probably has the most proven game experience with that. If you watch the championship game, like when we really set out to, we said we got to get X amount of yards to win this game versus Louisville. If you watch him in that game, he did an excellent job with identifying who he was working to in the run game, because that was changing with the multiplicity of what they were doing defensively, and then the targets in the run game and staying on the blocks. He did a really nice job with all that. So it really helped us win a championship with that. Jackson West got a lot of game experience as a blocker in the last half of the season. He is a very, very physical player. Works really hard at the technique of it. Great finisher. I think as he starts to get involved more, I think you'll see him really take hold in that part of the game. And then Brian and Jarrell both have really come a long way in terms of learning. They both played different positions in high school. I'm really excited to see the next step. They both progress well as blockers. Haven't done it in games much, but I think both those guys can be highly improved players as they go in. And then, Landen has all the traits. Landen brings so much experience from high school of being an inline guy that I think the transition for him won't be as hard as it has been for some other guys. And, he's got a lower body flexibility and some explosive power that's real natural. So excited to see him put that on display in the spring. So, all those guys have a long way to go, but have made good progress in the run game.
You talked about the leadership in Kyle. How much has he helped in Landen's transition and getting out?
I think a lot. I challenged Landen when he got here. I said, you got, the beauty for you is you've got some really high-level workers that are older players. And every guy in that room in the offseason, if you watch them work extremely hard, and he noticed that right away. And even not just in the tour of duty stuff, but in the weight room, he commented like these guys push a lot of weight and they're intense about it. He comes from a program that's already prepared him well for that, but college is another step. So I think having those guys, not just Kyle, but Jackson works at a high level. Brian is a very high level worker. Jarrell's been pushing himself. So for any freshman to look at that, those are great examples to watch.
What have you seen from Landon just athletically through the winter conditioning program?
Just the movements that we saw in high school, those are already showing up in the change of direction movements that we're asking them to do. A lot of the routes that we're asking them to run, and just all the movements that we see are what we thought. And he's a very flexible guy. He's an explosive guy. He can go from that 10-yard burst for him is significant. He can get into routes quick. He can explode off the ball in a run game, and we're excited about spring ball to see how he progresses.
How much do you like the way that the physicality that Jackson plays with? It's just how big would it be just for him to have a healthy year and just stay on the field for a long time?
That's what he brings to the team overall. Like, he's that guy that's going to go out and bring a really, really physical element every day. For him to be healthy and be able to really help our team and offense, special teams, all the areas that he can contribute is exciting. I think he'll do a great job, and he's worked really hard with his body to try to give himself as good a chance as possible to be healthy. And looking forward to the spring with him.